Hey friends, and welcome to Domain 8 of Micro Solutions' Manufacturing Guide to CMMC 2.0. Today we're going to talk about media protection. There's a simple phrase that explains why media protection exists. Data is most vulnerable when it moves. Not when it's sitting quietly on a server or locked behind access controls, but when it's copied, transferred, transported, or even thrown away. So let's break that down a bit. Data doesn't usually disappear all on its own. It gets exposed when something moves for a legitimate reason. Usually to get work done faster, to share a file, to back something up, or to hand something off to a vendor. In manufacturing environments, that's happening constantly. Engineering drawings move from design to shop floor. Specifications then get shared with suppliers. Backups are getting created and stored offline. USB drives show up because they're, convenient. Old machines get retired while still holding sensitive data. None of this is malicious, it's just operational. Media protection exists to bring discipline and attention to these exact moments. The moments where data changes hands, changes location, or changes form. The domain's not about stopping work, it's about making sure that when data moves, it isn't becoming quietly exposed or distributed in places it shouldn't be. So let's talk a bit about what it is and isn't. Media protection governs how sensitive data is handled when it's stored, transferred, reused, or disposed of, especially when that data exists on physical or portable media. Things like removable drives, portable storage, backup media, laptops, tablets, and retired equipment, files transferred outside your controlled environment. What it is. Media protection is about ensuring sensitive data stays protected wherever it lives and wherever it travels to. What isn't it? It's not a ban on removable media, and it's not locking everything down so tightly that work grinds to a halt. It's not assuming employees have bad intentions either. CMMC assumes people are trying to do their jobs. The domain exists to ensure that everyday actions like copying a file or sharing a drive, disposing of equipment, don't accidentally create security gaps. At its core, media protection is business hygiene. The same way you have rules for handling physical parts, tools, and materials, you need rules for handling your sensitive data. Before talking about the controls or the compliance side of this, there's a few simple questions leadership needs to ask and eventually answer with confidence. First, do we actually know where our sensitive data lives? Not in theory, but in practice. Which systems, which devices, which backups, and which removable media contain controlled information? Second, is the use of removable or portable media intentional or just convenient? Do people use the USB drives, external storage, or offline backups because there's a defined process, or because it's the fastest way to get something done? When data leaves our environment, is it protected in transit? Whether it's being transferred to a vendor, moved between systems, or stored temporarily, are you confident that it's not exposed along the way? Fourth, when equipment or media reaches end of life, is the data actually removed? Or do the old machines, drives, and backups just quietly pile up with sensitive information, all still intact? Fifth, is responsibility clearly defined? Who approves media use? Who handles transfers? Who verifies disposal? At this stage, these are the awareness questions, not the pass or fail tests. But if they're feeling hard to answer, that's useful information for you to start with. When assessors look at media protection, they're not hunting for perfection. They're looking for intentional controls. Typically that means seeing clear written media handling policies that explain a few things. What types of media are allowed? When can they be used? And how sensitive data must be protected. Controls around removable and portable media, not bans, but guardrails. Evidence that is protected when moved, such as defined transfer methods, approval processes, and encryption or equivalent safeguards. And clear disposable practices, including sanitation procedures, destruction records, and verification that the data is actually gone. To put it plainly, assessors just want to see that you know where your data is, you can control how it moves, and you don't let it leak out through routine operations. In real manufacturing environments, media protection gaps usually don't come from neglect. They come from speed and habits. USB drives get used because they're fast. Sensitive files get copied to laptops for convenience. Old machines get stored just in case. Backups get created without a clear life cycle plan or anyone to check them. Over time, this creates quiet risk. not because anyone's careless, but because legacy habits persist long after systems change. These gaps are common, they're understandable, and they're fixable. Recognizing them is part of building a mature program, not a sign that something is broken. A strong media protection posture feels calm and controlled, not restrictive. In mature environments, data handling is intentional, not ad hoc. Employees know what's allowed and why. Transfers happen through defined, secure methods. Old equipment does not sit around holding sensitive data. Most importantly, leadership has confidence that the data is not leaking out through everyday actions. Nothing dramatic, nothing complicated. Just disciplined handling that matches the value of the information being protected. Practically speaking, media protection comes together across 4 separate areas: procedures, people, technology, and evidence. Let's break it down a little bit. Starting with procedures, we need clear rules for when media can be used, how to transfer it, and how to dispose of it. As far as people go, we need defined roles. Who's going to approve the use of this? Who's going to handle the transfers? And who verifies that it was disposed of? Technology, we need general safeguards that protect data at rest and in transit without relying on any specific vendor or tool. And evidence, the important part for CMMC. If you remember, that's a recurring theme that we need to be building evidence in every domain. So we need to build policies, acknowledgments, logs, and disposal records that show the process actually happens. Now, just like all the other domains, media protection does not exist in isolation. It supports access control by limiting where data can go. It supports configuration management by controlling where copies can exist. And it supports incident response by reducing unknown exposure paths. In the ebook, we map how media handling fits into the broader CMMC system, not as a standalone rule, but as a part of a connected security program. And if you're ready to start implementation, check out our implementation guide as well. Now, media protection isn't about fear, and it isn't about locking people down. It's about handling data with intention, especially when it moves. When organizations apply discipline to everyday data movement, they eliminate a large amount of preventable risk, quietly, consistently, and with confidence. That's the real goal of Domain 8. If you've made it this far, we appreciate you sticking around, and we look forward to diving into Domain 9 next. Thanks.